Women, take control of your own life. Don't live just to please others. For too long, women have been conditioned to live by a set of unwritten rules. Society tells us to be nurturing, to be supportive, to constantly put others before ourselves. We are encouraged to be the perfect daughter, the perfect partner, and the ideal wife. But the truth is, you were never born just to meet these roles and expectations. Your life is not defined by what others want from you. You were born to create your own path, to live a life that has meaning to you, and to design your world the way you see fit. Take a moment to realize this. Every single decision you make shapes the life you lead. It's easy to get swept away by the currents of society or family, but true empowerment comes from knowing that you have the strength and ability to take control of your life. It begins from within. By making choices that align with your values, your desires, and your unique vision for your future, you are reclaiming your power. To live a fulfilling life, you must make it your own. No one else can do this for you. The moment you stop living for the approval of others, you free yourself to follow your own heart. You have the right to prioritize your happiness, to define success on your own terms, and to build a life that reflects who you are, not who others think you should be. This is the true meaning of self-empowerment, to take the reins of your life and live it fully, unapologetically and authentically. 1. Taking control of your life begins with understanding yourself. You can't steer a boat if you don't know where you're going, and your life works in much the same way. To navigate your own path, it's essential to first take the time to understand yourself. What do you truly want out of life? What makes you feel alive, fulfilled, and at peace? What brings you joy and what drains your energy? It's not just about achieving external goals, but understanding your inner desires, your values, and your passions. Many women fall into the trap of looking to others for validation or guidance, whether it's family, friends, or societal pressures. The truth is, it's easy to be swept away by the constant noise around us, by expectations and assumptions about what we should be or should do. If you don't take the time to truly understand who you are, what you stand for, and where you want to go, it becomes much harder to make decisions that align with your authentic self. Instead, you might find yourself drifting aimlessly, pulled in directions that don't resonate with your true purpose. When you take the time to understand yourself deeply, you gain a sense of clarity and strength. You'll know what to say yes to and what to walk away from. You'll be able to set boundaries that protect your energy and keep you focused on your goals. The most powerful thing is that when you understand yourself, you stop being dependent on external validation or the approval of others. You create your own roadmap for life, one that is guided by your own inner compass, not the influence of external forces. In this way, taking the time to understand who you are is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the foundation upon which all other decisions are made. And once you've gained that understanding, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that you're making choices that align with your true self, not just following the path set by others. This self-awareness allows you to live authentically and intentionally, carving a life that's truly yours. 2. Don't hand the wheel of your life over to others. Many people find themselves living according to the expectations of their parents, their partner, or society. From an early age, we are often guided by the ideas and beliefs of those around us. Parents have their dreams for us, society defines success in a specific way, and even our partners may have their own vision of what our future together should look like. Over time, we can become so absorbed in fulfilling these external expectations that we forget to ask ourselves one important question: whose life am I really living? The truth is, it can be easy to fall into this pattern. We are taught that taking care of others and meeting their expectations is a sign of love or loyalty. The fear of disappointing others, of straying from what has been expected, can be overwhelming. However, true freedom comes from knowing that you have the ability and the right to make your own decisions. It doesn't mean that you have to do everything on your own, nor does it mean rejecting the people you love or their advice. But at the very least, you should be the one making the key decisions for your life, decisions about your career, your relationships, and your personal happiness. But one day, after reflecting on her journey, she realizes that she's been living someone else's life. She knows that in order to live a life that is truly fulfilling, she must take control of her own choices. She decides to pursue photography, even if it means disappointing her parents. While the journey is difficult, she finds peace and joy in doing what she loves. She is no longer bound by the expectations of others. Instead, she has written her own story. Remember, your life isn't a script written by someone else. You are the author of your own narrative. You have the power to choose your direction, to shape your experiences, and to live in a way that feels authentic and true to who you are. While it's natural to seek approval or to consider the needs of others, the most important person you need to make happy is yourself. Your happiness doesn't come from fulfilling the expectations of others. It comes from aligning your life with your own values, passions, and desires. So take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are you truly living for yourself, or are you still following someone else's script? It's never too late to take control and start writing your own story. The path you choose might be unconventional. It might not always be easy, but it will be yours, and that's the most powerful thing of all. 3. Independence. Not just financially, but emotionally too. Independence is an essential cornerstone in the process of taking full control of your life. It doesn't mean that you have to be strong at all times, or that you must never ask for help or lean on others when needed. In fact, true independence is not about shutting people out or pretending to be invulnerable. It's about recognizing that while relationships and support systems are important, your sense of self-worth and fulfillment should never be solely dependent on external sources. A woman who is taking control of her life doesn't rely on others to complete her, nor does she seek constant validation or approval. She's learned how to stand on her own 2 feet, emotionally and mentally. This means that she understands her own value, her own needs, and how to prioritize herself without feeling guilty. She knows that being independent doesn't mean cutting herself off from others, but rather being secure in who she is, regardless of outside opinions or circumstances. True independence is about emotional self-sufficiency. The ability to heal from pain without relying on others to fix it for you. For instance, after a breakup, a woman who is emotionally independent doesn't let the weight of that situation determine her sense of worth or happiness. She allows herself to feel the pain, process it, and then move on. She doesn't seek to fill the void with someone new or rely on validation from others. Instead, she nurtures her own emotional needs through self-care, reflection, and personal growth. This way, she doesn't let the external situation define her. She finds her own strength to move forward. A woman who takes control of her life doesn't let the emotions or actions of others overpower her sense of self. If someone is rude, dismissive, or critical, she doesn't internalize it. She recognizes that their behavior is a reflection of them, not of her. She doesn't let their actions dictate how she feels about herself. This emotional resilience comes from knowing and accepting who she is, from developing a strong internal foundation that no one can shake. For example, imagine a woman who faces constant criticism at work. Rather than taking it personally or letting it undermine her confidence, she evaluates the criticism objectively. She uses it as constructive feedback, but she doesn't allow it to diminish her belief in her capabilities. She understands her strengths and weaknesses, and she knows that one negative comment does not define her abilities or worth. This internal confidence gives her the power to continue striving toward her goals without losing her sense of self in the process. In every aspect of her life, whether it's in her career, her relationships, or her personal growth, she remains anchored to her own sense of self. She knows that her happiness and peace are within her control. No matter how chaotic the world around her may be, she chooses not to let external circumstances dictate her emotional state. Instead, she chooses to center herself and align her actions with her values and desires. Ultimately, when you know who you are and how to love and care for yourself, you create a space where you are no longer vulnerable to the whims or judgments of others. You become the person who sets your own boundaries, who makes your own decisions, and who determines what is acceptable in your life. You no longer feel the need to seek approval or sacrifice your own happiness for the sake of others. Your independence becomes the foundation of your personal power, and with that power, you are free to create the life you desire. When a woman truly takes control of her life, she doesn't just live on autopilot, reacting to whatever comes her way. She lives intentionally, with confidence in her choices and peace in her heart. This independence doesn't isolate her, but empowers her to cultivate meaningful relationships, pursue her passions, and maintain a strong, healthy sense of self regardless of what others may say or do. The real strength comes from the understanding that no matter what happens in life, she can always rely on herself to heal, grow, and keep moving forward. 4. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Often, women find themselves feeling the pressure to say yes to every request that comes their way, especially when those requests come from family, friends, or colleagues. The societal expectation to always be accommodating, helpful, or nice can weigh heavily, leading many to ignore their own needs and desires just to please others. However, taking full control of your life means learning how to say no without feeling the need to justify or apologize for it. It's important to realize that saying no does not make you selfish, cold, or uncaring. In fact, it's an act of self-respect and self-preservation. When you say no to something that doesn't align with your values or desires, you are asserting your right to prioritize yourself. It's an acknowledgement that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are valuable and that you are not obligated to give them away freely just to meet the expectations of others. This is especially true in situations where you're asked to do something that either drains you or doesn't contribute to your growth or happiness. Learning to say no is not always easy, especially for women who have been conditioned to be people pleasers. It's challenging to break free from the mindset that you must always be agreeable or avoid conflict at all costs. However, it's essential to understand that by constantly saying yes, you are depleting your own energy and potentially allowing yourself to become overwhelmed, burnt out, or resentful. Overcommitting to others can leave you with little time for yourself, your own goals, or the things that truly matter to you. Saying no isn't just about turning down requests, though. It's a powerful tool for setting clear and healthy boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines we draw around ourselves to protect our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Without boundaries, you open yourself up to exploitation, burnout, and unnecessary stress. Boundaries allow you to honor your own needs and values, and when you say no, you're reinforcing those boundaries, ensuring that you don't give away more than you're willing to offer. For example, imagine someone asks you to take on a project at work, but you're already overwhelmed with your current responsibilities. A strong woman, confident in her ability to take control of her life, would recognize that taking on this additional project would cause undue stress and affect her well-being. Rather than agreeing out of fear of disappointing others or feeling pressured to prove her worth, she would politely but firmly say, "I'm sorry, but I can't commit to that at this time." She may offer a solution, such as suggesting another colleague who might be able to take on the task, or she might offer to help at a later date, but she would not sacrifice her own peace and balance to meet someone else's expectations. It's also important to recognize that when you say no in a respectful manner, you're teaching others how to treat you. People will begin to respect your boundaries and understand that you value your time and energy. When you constantly say yes, even when you don't want to, you're inadvertently teaching others that you don't value your own needs. But when you confidently say no, you show that you are in control of your life and that you will not tolerate being overburdened or disrespected. Moreover, saying no doesn't mean you're cutting yourself off from meaningful connections. It's about understanding your limitations and knowing when it's appropriate to take a step back for your own well-being. You don't have to say yes to every invitation or request for help, and doing so doesn't mean you love or care about the person any less. In fact, Being able to say no actually helps maintain healthier, more balanced relationships because it prevents feelings of resentment or exhaustion from building up. For instance, you might feel the pressure to attend every social gathering or family event, even when you're feeling mentally or physically drained. A woman who knows how to take control of her life would recognize when she needs rest and would decline the invitation without guilt. She understands that taking care of her own health is just as important as showing up for others, and by honoring her need for rest, she's ensuring that she can show up as her best self when it truly matters. In the long run, learning how to say no allows you to be more present and engaged in the areas of your life that truly matter. It creates space for you to invest in your passions, relationships, and personal growth. You can devote more time to your career, pursue your hobbies, or simply enjoy some well-deserved alone time, all because you've established the boundaries necessary to protect your energy and mental health. Saying no is a skill that every woman deserves to cultivate, and it's a powerful way to maintain control over your own life. By learning to say no without guilt or fear, you'll not only protect your own well-being, but you'll also teach others to respect and honor your time and energy. Ultimately, saying no is not just a way of protecting yourself, it's a way of prioritizing your own happiness and peace. You deserve to live a life that aligns with your values and desires, and sometimes that means saying no to things that don't serve your higher purpose. 5. Success has no one-size-fits-all model. Each person defines it differently. Society often sets common standards for success, like a big house, a luxury car, or fame. But in reality, success is a very personal concept. You don't need any of those things to be considered successful. As long as you wake up every day, live true to your values, and feel at peace, that is already a great success. Success is not something that can be measured by material things or other standards. True success is when you live your life the way that makes you feel content and happy. 6. When you take control of yourself, you inspire the world. When women choose to live authentically, they unknowingly become a light to others. Whether you realize it or not, your courageous steps will inspire those around you. Courage is contagious. Sometimes you don't just change your life, but you also unlock the freedom of someone else who is quietly watching you from afar. By taking control of your life, you not only change yourself, but also bring about a shift within your community. You become a role model for those around you, especially for those who need encouragement to live authentically themselves. Taking control of your life isn't a stage, it's a journey. And every mindful step you take today is a powerful declaration that I deserve a life that I create on my own. Remember, your life is yours. Live it the way you want, and never stop pursuing what truly makes you happy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.